What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now 223 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And who knows, maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the year. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, the possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners over at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue, maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 90% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed, and to top it all off, we got to get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this. I'm on the card as it sits now. What are your guys' predictions for NXT Deadline 2024? Let me know down in the comments below. And for today's video, that is exactly what we are going to be talking about today. It is predictions for NXT Deadline, which will be the final PLE of 2024. And honestly 2024 has been absolutely chaotic, not just for Yu-Gi-Oh, but also for WWE as well. I mean, we've had some incredible matches, some incredible PLEs. This might just be one of the this is going to be one of the most important PLEs of the entire year, which will help take shape, take 2025, make shape for 2025, as we have the return of the men's and the women's Iron Survivor challenges. Plus, we have two title matches on the card, and of course, a grudge match. So honestly, I can't wait. I cannot wait for Deadline this Saturday. It is going to be insane. And on that, let's get straight into it. Kicking things off, we've got NXT Underground between Lola Vice and Jada Parker. Obviously, this rivalry has been brewing for months now, and this all kind of started. I think this all kind of started. I want to say during Halloween Havoc, if I remember correctly. Was it Halloween Havoc or was it something else? I think it was something else. Yeah, I think it was something else. It was like, I think it was like on NXT when it was in when they were in Chicago on the CW premiere, and there was a tag match that featured Parker and Vice. I think, again, if I remember correctly, I think against, if my memory serves right, against, I think, Fatal. I think against Fatal Influence, and and Parker. Sorry guys, I'm like losing my train of thought. Anyway, Parker walked out because she believed that Lola Vice kept, attacked her, but really it was Fatal Influence. And this obviously led to them having a series of matches, including one that took place in Philly, in that hardcore match with Dawn Marie as the special guest referee. And now, of course, as we saw last night on NXT, Lola Vice cost Jada Parker the chance to be a part of the Women's Iron Survivor, which was won by Ren Sinclair by dumb luck. And now, of course, we have NXT Underground. Interestingly enough, Lola Vice, I think last week, demanded for Jada Parker to be in NXT Underground, which, it's weird because you've got two women who literally despise each other, and it all has to do with the fact that they want opportunities. That's all it is. That's all they want are opportunities to make their way to the top of the mountain. And it's weird because both had opportunities at the NXT Women's title. I think Lola Vice had a shot at Heatwave when it was in Toronto, and then I think Jada Parker had a shot at No Mercy. Yeah, so Lola Vice at Heatwave, and then Jada Parker at No Mercy. So it's kind of weird, actually, if you think about it, because looking at it on the surface, I mean, these two women came so close from becoming an NXT Women's Champion, and they're both bitter at each other, not only for costing each other their matches, but also because they couldn't reach reach the top of the mountain as NXT Women's Champion. And I think, honestly, this match is going to definitely determine who wants to seize their opportunity more. And given the fact that Lola Vice has a lot of experience when it comes to NXT Underground, I think Lola Vice definitely has the advantage. But this is Jada Parker we're talking about here. She grew up on the streets, in the streets, and literally had to fight her way to the top, I guess, if you will. And I don't know. I mean, it. In my opinion, it still definitely does favor Lola Vice, but I think Jada Parker needs this victory more than anything else, because if she loses, there's really no telling whether, there's really no telling if she's gonna get any more opportunities at all or not. So it's gonna be hard to tell. But imagine if Parker did win. If Jada wins, there's gonna be a lot of opportunities for her to make her way back to the top and potentially back in line for a shot at the NXT Women's title, or perhaps go after Fallon Henley of Fatal Influence and the women's North American title, which is very possible. But aside from that, I think I would have to put my money on Lola Vice. I think just because of the fact that, just because of the experience, she knows, and she knows NXT Underground. She's been in that battlefield with some of the best, including Shayna Baszler, and of course as well Natalya, two icons, two absolute incredible legends in WWE. I think Lola Vice has this in the bag. Next up, we've got the NXT Tag Team titles being defended between the champions Nathan Frazer and Axiom, and of course Tavion Heights and Miles Bourne of the NQCC No Quarter Catch Crew. It's weird because this is just a match that was brought up on the fly. So if you guys remember last week on NXT, Ava announced that there would be a battle royal to determine who would challenge Frazer and Axiom for said tag team titles. And it's weird because everybody was expecting Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura to win, but there's still a relatively new tag team, and they're still trying to get a feel for, how can I explain it without being weird? They're still trying to get to know each other, I guess, if you will, I guess would be the better, I guess would be the more proper term, I guess. And it's weird because during the battle royal last night, everybody was expecting to see tag teams like perhaps like OTM or maybe Hank and Tank to win it, but in the final moments we saw Miles Bourne eliminate both Lucian Price and Tank and Tank Ledger just within like mere seconds of one another, which was insane. Like it was absolutely insane. Absolutely incredible performance by Miles Bourne. And given the fact that Nathan Frazer is gonna be a part of the men's Iron Survivor, I don't know. I think at this point, this tag match is definitely gonna favor the NQCC, just because of the fact that Frazer is more focused on wanting to become NXT champion rather than his own tag team titles. And as crazy as it sounds, I think we're going to be in the midst of new tag team champions in the form of Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights of the NQCC. So I have a feeling that 2025 is going to be a very interesting year for the No Quarter Catch crew, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting, to say the very least. I think we might end up seeing new tag team champions. I think just because of the fact that Axiom is more focused on the tag team titles. Frazer doesn't give a damn. It's like, it's almost as if he's become a much more different person since regaining the tag titles. I think at No Mercy from once known as Chase U. I think he's just different. I don't know about you guys. I think the idea of the men's Iron Survivor is definitely gonna catch up to Frazer and Axiom, and we will crown. I think we're gonna see new tag champs. So my money is on the NQCC. Speaking of champions, we move into the NXT title between Trick Williams and Ridge Holland. And after what happened last night on NXT, I don't know. I think Trick Williams is gonna be in a world of trouble because last night during the final confrontation that was moderated by none other than Hall of Famer Eric Bischoff, Ridge Holland hit the Redeemer on Trick Williams on top of the announce table, and Ava went with Trick to the hospital, and Trick said, I want to fight. I want to fight Ridge Holland. So, I don't know. I think I think Trick Williams is way in over his head. And as crazy as it sounds, I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for this, but I think we're gonna be in the midst of a brand new NXT champion, and the reason for it is because because of this. There's a few things that can go that surround this matchup. For one, Trick is fighting for Chase U. He's fighting Ridge Holland to honor not only his fan, to not only honor Trick's own, very own fans, but also those who supported Chase U when they were still around. And if there's one person who could stop Ridge Holland, in my opinion, it definitely is Trick. For one. Another thing as well is that there's been a lot of rumors going around saying that supposedly we're gonna see Trick Williams get called up to the main roster during the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw when it airs on Netflix next month. And it's weird because if this does happen, Trick could end up could possibly show up without the NXT title, and it's gonna be very, very interesting, I will say. But what's gonna happen? I think in this match is Ridge Holland is definitely gonna be targeting the neck and the shoulder blades of Trick Williams after what happened last night. I think Ridge Holland has this in the bag. Trick got hurt way too bad. I think we're gonna see a new champion. So as crazy as it sounds, as much respect as I do have for Trick, I think Ridge Holland is gonna win it. I think he will, in my honest opinion. But now we move into the men's and the women's Iron Survivor challenges, and of course, if you guys are not familiar with the Iron Survivor Challenge, the rules are simple. The rules are simple. Two superstars will start the match. Every 5 minutes, another superstar enters, and this goes on until all five superstars have entered, and then the match will go on until the clock expires and one person has scored more points. The way to score a point is by pinfall or submission, and there are only 25 minutes on the clock. So whoever scores the most amount of points at the end of the time limit will go on to New Year's Evil and will challenge for the NXT title and the NXT Women's title respectively at New Year's Evil. The interesting thing to also note is that if you get pinned or if you submit, you go into the penalty box for 90 seconds. So what makes the Iron Survivor Challenge so unique is that it can take your career to heights you never thought possible. Look at last year's deadline. If you look at deadline from last year, I actually still have that one here in my book. Last year, last year, Trick Williams won the whole thing. Like, literally, he won the whole thing. And he pinned, literally, I believe, yeah, literally, he pinned all 4 men. Dijak, Josh Briggs, Braun Breaker, and Tyler Bate. Interestingly enough. And he barely had any points whatsoever. But he was able to pin all 4 men within like a minute of within the last minute of one another, winning the Iron Survivor, which was absolutely insane. Even also on the women's side, Blair Davenport also won the women's Iron Survivor, getting 3 points, which is awesome. Now, the combatants for this year's challenges will be as follows. On the men's side, we've got Wesley, Javon Evans, Nathan Fraser, Ethan Page, and Eddie Thorpe, who Eddie won the Last Chance Fatal 4-Way last night on NXT. And then of course on the women's side, you've got Sol Ruka, Stephanie Vaquer, Zarya, Julia, and Ren Sinclair. Again, obviously Ren winning the Last Chance last night. Absolutely incredible. And it's weird because on the women's side, it's an all babyface matchup. It's literally an all-star match right here, because you have 3 women who are world-traveled athletes in the form of Vaquer, Zarya, and Julia. And then, of course, you have 2 up-and-coming megastars in the form of Sol Ruka and Ren Sinclair. Sol obviously having a hell of a performance earlier this year at Battleground in the women's North American title ladder match, funny enough. And then Ren Sinclair is just, had just rose up to megastardom ever since joining the No Quarter Catch crew, which was incredible. And then of course on the men's side, you've got some incredible talent. I mean you've got Wesley, who was the second longest reigning North American champion of all time. You've got Javon Evans, who's actually the youngest in this matchup. Nathan Fraser, obviously a 2-time NXT Tag Team Champion, and of course a former Heritage Cup Champion as well. Ethan Page, former NXT Champion, former TNA Tag Team Champion. The guy has been all over the place. And then of course Eddie Thorpe is, again, much like Ren Sinclair and Sol Ruka, Eddie Thorpe is also a fast rising star in NXT. So on both sides of the coin, you've got some incredible talent, which these are 2 all-star matches right here, and it comes down to who's the favorite walking into both these matches. And as crazy as it sounds, people are saying that Javon Evans is the odds-on favorite going into the men's match. And on the women's side, pretty obvious at this point, it is none other than Julia. And it's interesting because we know that Julia, Zarya, and Stephanie Vaquer, I think a couple of weeks ago when NXT was in Philly, they were in a massive 10-woman tag match that featured those 3, plus their partners were Jordynne Grace and of course Kalani Jordan against Fatal Influence, Cora Jade, and the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. So given that, they knew that with the women's Iron Survivor, they knew if they were facing each other, it would be every woman for herself. And even with that, even when the match was done, excuse me, they knew full well that the respect would still be there. So as far as who I would like to see win the Iron Survivor, don't get me wrong, Julia is definitely the odds-on favorite. I think Zarya needs this more than anyone else because Vaken and Julia have already beaten Roxanne Perez. They beat her in not only in the 10-woman tag, but also in the tag match at Halloween Havoc as well, not that long ago. So for Zarya, it's a match. This match is for her to prove to the world that she deserves to be the NXT Women's Champion. Of course, too. Yes, I get it. Everyone else wants that opportunity, but it's more the fact of who needs it more. And again, it's definitely Zarya. And if she wins, she has an opportunity to do something that literally no other woman has ever done this entire year, and that is pin Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's title. Now, as far as the men's side, again, yes, it is Javon Evans who people believe is to be the odds-on favorite. Crazy as it sounds, my money is on Ethan Page. The reason for it is because we know that Ridge Holland and Ethan Page both wanted to be NXT champion, but imagine what happens if Ethan Page won the men's Iron Survivor and he had to face off against Ridge Holland. Who would be the odds-on favorite with, in that match? Would it be Ridge Holland or would it be Ethan Page? That right there would have to boggle the minds of the entire NXT universe. So I think, honestly, again, my predictions on the women's side, it is Zarya. The men's side, it is All Ego Ethan Page. I think this year's deadline is going to be very interesting, to say the very least. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.